Here's Lichka. Panenka slipping it through, and high and wide from Marian Masny. Masny, Ron, really hasn't looked the player in this tournament that we expected him to be.
No, I've been very disappointed with Masny, and also with Nahoda for that matter. Substitute Galako's come on, and he's certainly, you know, he's not come on in any defensive role at all. He's pushing forward as well, and that's really pushing Andrus, making Andrus, as we said earlier in the first half, he's not been allowed to break forward. He's having to stay right at the back now.
So here's Vízek for Czechoslovakia, who still lead Greece by 2-1. Vízek once more. An early ball from Barmos. It might come down for Masny. And now Lichka. But as a manager, Ron, the attitude, I'm sure people watching back home will wonder quite how an international side like Czechoslovakia can give the indication, at least to us watching, that their attitude is wrong.
Well, when you say wrong, I think we might be taking a little bit away from the Greeks there. I think what's probably happened, they were the reigning champions. They realise that they're not going to retain that title, and I think psychologically that must play a big bearing in it. I think if they were playing Germany tonight with a full house, they'd really be going.
Well, they go forward again with Masny. Can he find a way through here? He was looking for Nahoda. And there was some holding by Zdeněk Nahoda, who gets a little ticking off out of your picture from Pat Partridge, the number 11 there. Nahoda, for 2 successive years, the Czech Footballer of the Year. It'll be a throw to Greece. A little touch looking for Anastopoulos. Mavros with the flick. And again, the Czechs hustled out of it on the ball. And Galakos letting fly with his left foot. And Zeman finding it coming straight to him and getting a good sight of it. But here's Panenka. Kozak. Nahoda trying to turn, trying to set up. In the end, Panenka. And the decision is a goal kick, or maybe there was an offside, as the Czechs were appealing for a corner.
Although we've been making comments about the size of the crowd, it's been fair to say that the Greek supporters have been right behind their side since the onset. However, they seem as if they're just starting to die a little bit. The fans are perhaps losing a little bit of faith. You know, nothing like a goal now for stirring the whole game up.
Well, certainly no signs that the Greek players are losing any faith. Here's Vízek, though, for Czechoslovakia. Into Anton Ondruš. Partridge playing the advantage. Wide from Lichka. And here's Masny. Ondruš is waiting in the middle. And it was just touched away from him. He's repositioned on the far post, as it is now with Vízek. But here's Kostikos for Iosifidis. 10 minutes into the second half. Livapinos. Now Anastopoulos. Galakos trying to switch it wide to this near side where Kuis had made a good run. Forward from Kozak. Vízek sitting wide on the right in this second half. And now Panenka. But it breaks down for the Czechs. And who's back there tidying things up but little Anastopoulos. And a sensible ball forward too. He really does seem to have energy to burn. Anastopoulos again. Vízek has Masny breaking ahead of him. And Kozak here in support. A little touch there for Lichka. Lining it up on the left foot, and not too far away, as the Greeks rather stood off. But a more convincing break than from Czechoslovakia.
Yes, as we were saying in the first half about the Greek midfield players had worked tremendously hard and were finding it difficult to sort of keep contact with the Czechs when the Czech broke. And I think as the game goes on and on, that will become more and more apparent.
We're looking at the number 13, Xanthopoulos, whose presence on the field won't add to the ease of pronunciation. But Kostikos goes off, who was carrying that injury. And it may be that they'll push Galakos further forward. To play up alongside Mavros.
Sostituzioni per la squadra greca.
And a little touch in towards Mavros. Put away by Ondrush. Here's Gurk, trying a little run of his own. Kozak. For Lichka. Nahoda and Vízek ahead of him. And Barmosh making a better angle for the cross, looking for Nahoda, and too long for him. And Nahoda showing perhaps a little of his frustrations as we look at Jan Fiala warming up for Czechoslovakia. But that may not be so significant because all their substitutes are up going through a program of exercises at the moment. But here come Greece with Kuis. Kozak, who does a lot of good, unspectacular work as the defensive midfield player for Czechoslovakia, the number 7. Panenka. Here's Masny. Lichka and Nahoda in the middle. Panenka moving into his own shooting range, but forced to play the ball wide. Barmosh. The Greeks pen back at the moment. Vízek. Barmosh trying to get to the dead ball line, but the signal is a goal kick.
Martin, this half I've been watching the Czechoslovakia back four, and they seem to have adopted a strict man-for-man, leaving Ondrush right out the back, which is their normal way of playing. First half, they seem to just go anywhere they like, but second half looks like Vengros has got to them until they've got to stick with people, got to mark tight, got to give the Greece front three some respect.
Well, they've certainly earned that respect, and they've also earned the cheers from their supporters that are still ringing out. Piros stepping in quickly for Greece, and then Anastopoulos. The substitute Xanthopoulos. But here's Kozak. With half an hour remaining. And still Czechoslovakia leading Greece by 2-1. With Gurk. Here's Masny. And again, the attempt to play a little 1-2 around the edge of the box breaks down for them. Galakos breaking ahead of Anastopoulos. Vivathinos. But it's a free kick to Greece.
Martin, before the game, the manager, Panagoulas, was sort of saying that he expected his side to try and outrun the Czechs. He thought that they were a fitter side. And in terms of all-out commitment, he can have no complaints about that. His side have worked non-stop. It just looks now, though, as if the Czechs have got it really tidied up.
And here's Vízek for them. Nahoda wanting the cross. And Vízek taking rather too long to try and find him. Just to fill out that point you were making, Ron, Panagoulias also said that it was very unusual for Greek players to play a number of games in a short period of time, so he was a little bit concerned too about how they would react to that.
Yes, that may well be having an effect, but he can have no complaints today.
And Nahoda makes it 3. So at a time when perhaps the Greeks were losing their grip, Nahoda finds his finishing touch. Worked in short from the corner. Kozak with the cross. There was a little bit of a scramble in there, and it fell so invitingly. And Nahoda doesn't miss from that sort of range. So 17 minutes into the second half, the goal that might finally break the Greeks. A little hold-up while Jurkovic went to the bench to get a little bit of treatment. And we can tell you that the crowd here in the Olympic Stadium in Rome is 9,000 tonight. To reiterate that the game is going out live on Italian television. And by staying at home, of course, the public have been able to see both matches. Here's Panenka. Now Gurk. And problems here again. And almost an own goal, as the Czechs were rather over-elaborate themselves. The ball cut back. And they were looking to give Nahoda the chance. It was scrambled behind for another corner. By Kuis. The feet high by Koloman Gurk on Anastopoulos. Do you fear now, Ron, that the Greeks might crumble in this final phase of the game?
Yes, I think there's every chance that could happen. The problem they've got, of course, is they've used both their substitutes as well, and they're not in a position to bring fresh people on. But there looks to be a lot of people with tired legs now. They've given everything, and I'd be most surprised now if the Czechs didn't add at least another couple to that.
Well, here's Kirastas for Greece to Mike Galakos. Always will want to keep it on his left foot. And draws some applause from the crowd for his work. Tidied up by Jurkovic. Here's Panenka. And another positive break by the Czechs. And Constantinou in a race with Nahoda. A race that in the end is won by the ball. Well, the Greeks have certainly achieved something here tonight. They didn't score away from home in their qualifying games. So in some senses, they've broken their duck tonight. Here's Kirastas.